Good morning, everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about the transmission system in tractor. So first, the let's see what is transmission system. Transmission is a speed-reducing mechanism equipped with several gears. It may be called a sequence of gear and shaft through which the engine power is transmitted to the tractor wheels. The system consists of various devices that cause forward and backward motion of tractor to suit different field conditions. The complete path of power from the engine to the wheel is called powertrain. Function of power transmission system: to transmit power from engine to the rear wheel of the tractor, to make reduced speed available to rear wheel of the tractor, to alter the ratio of wheel speed and engine speed in order to suit the field condition, to transmit power through right angle drive because the crankshaft and rear axle are normally at right angle to each other. The power transmission system consists of clutch, transmission gears, differential drive, final drive, rear axle, rear wheel. Combination of all these components is responsible for transmission of power. So first, in this, let's see about the clutch. Principle of operation of clutch. The clutch works on the principle of friction, in which when one stationary surface is brought in contact with a rotating surface, the stationary surface also starts rotating. In actual practice, one of the driving plate is the flywheel and the other is known as the pressure plate. The driving plate is a clutch plate made of frictional material and directly mounted on the spindled end of clutch shaft. In normal running condition, the pressure springs keeps the pressure plate in contact with the clutch plate. When the foot pedal is depressed, the pressure plate moves away against the pressure of springs, lowering the clutch plate and thus the clutch shaft to become stationary. Components of clutch. First, clutch plate. Two types of clutch plate are formed on tractor: solid hub type and flexible hub type. In solid hub design, the hub and plate are fastened together securely and there is no movement in the unit, whereas the flexible hub type has torsion springs and friction disc between the plate and the hub. This design permits the facing and the plate to rotate with respect to the hub to the limit of the compression spring. The action of springs serves to reduce torsional vibration and stokes between the engine and the transmission during the clutch operation. These flexible clutch plates are slightly dished when manufactured. This dishing allows smooth engagement of clutch facing with the flywheel. Sometimes, instead of dishing the plates, cushion springs are utilized. These cushion springs decreases in thickness by 1.2 to 1.4 mm when the clutch is engaged and thus serves the same purpose as that required by dishing. Facing of frictional material such as woven asbestos fiber or molded asbestos fiber are riveted on both sides of the disc. A woven clutch facing is made by weaving thread of brass or copper wire covered with long fiber of asbestos and cotton. The woven sheet are treated with bonding solution and then baked and rolled. Molded facing are made from a matrix of asbestos fiber and starch. A very recent development in the manufacture of friction lacing is ceramic material, a clay, and metal substance which is woven baked. The clutch plate hub is internally splintered and mounted on the spindle part of the clutch shaft, whose front and rest on the pilot bearing placed in the flywheel. Next is pressure plate assembly. This assembly consists of a steel cover and a pressure plate loaded with a number of truss springs. The pressure plate carries three release levers which pivot on floating pins retained by eye bolts. Adjusting nuts are screwed to the eye bolts which pass through the clutch cover and are secured by stalking. Struts are interposed between lugs on the pressure plate and the other end of release levers. Anti-rattle springs are fitted between release levers and the cover. A release lever plate is fitted to release levers with retained springs. Clutch shaft. The front end of the shaft is smaller in dimension and is supported on the pilot bearing in the engine crankshaft flank. On the spindle part of the shaft, the clutch disc moves. Pilot bearing. It is provided at flywheel. This may be a half lubricated sealed ball bearing or a needle bearing. Release bearing. Sometimes it is called as truss bearing also. Clearance is provided between the release lever and release bearing to ensure complete engagement. On disengagement position of clutch, if sound comes from clutch, means release bearing is defective. It has to be replaced. Types of clutch system. Though the clutch system can be a mechanical or hydraulical system, all indigenous wheeled tractors fitted with the mechanical clutch system. The mechanical clutch system can further be divided into dry system and wet system, which operates in all paths. Though in old times, wet type of clutches were also available on tractors. The present trend is towards the dry disc type. Depending upon the design, it may be a single disc or two disc. One of the main mission and the other for power takeoff. Working of single plate clutch system. The main components are the clutch plate, pressure plate, the clutch cover, pressure springs, release fingers, release bearing, the clutch shaft and the linkage. The clutch over the clutch cover is bolted to the flywheel and the clutch plate is mounted on the spindle part of the clutch shaft. The front end of which is freely supported on the piloted bearing fitted in the flywheel and the other end passes through the release bearing. In between the pressure plate and the clutch bearing, pressure spring are placed all over the circumference. Three fingers, also known as release levers, or centrally fulcrum to the clutch cover with their outer ends connected to the pressure plate. A release bearing slightly away from the free end of the fingers Move 2 and 4 on the clutch shaft with the help of fork which is connected to the clutch pedal through the linkage. As soon as the pedal is depressed, the release bearing moves towards the flywheel and presses the fingers, as the fingers are fulcrum at a point in their length to the clutch cover, and the other end is connected to the pressure plate. As soon as the free ends are pressed inside by the release bearing, the outer end tends to bring the pressure plate away from the clutch plate against pressure springs, making the clutch plate and hence the clutch shaft to disengage. By the pressure plate and cover remains rotating along with the flywheel. Thus, the condition of disengagement remains till front pedal remains depressed. The moment the pedal returns to the engaged position, the pressure plate moves ahead to press the clutch plate due to the pressure spring. Next is the working of dual clutch plate system. In this, PTO can be disconnected without stopping the tractor. It is used for combine harvester, reaper operation, etc. Some of the tractor are provided with two clutch plates, HMT, one of the main transmission and the other for PTO drive. In between the two clutch plates, an intermediate plate is provided. Normally, three release levers serves the purpose of disengaging the clutch plate. However, some of the tractors have 6 release levers, 3 each for main drive and the PTO drive. So in this video we have discussed about the clutch and different types of clutch. Thank you.